From the 3L Podcast Studios, welcome to Trackalerts Recall, where we go over the week's top stories in track and field from start to finish. I am Sean Garrity.
Usain Bolt worried about the Jamaican male sprinters. In an interview with Reuters, Usain Bolt said he was disappointed by the evolution of the Jamaican men's sprint after his retirement in 2017. Usain Bolt even thinks that his compatriots will struggle to win a medal at the Tokyo 2020 Olympic Games. Yohan Blake, the 2011 100-meter world champion and current Jamaican top sprinter, is 9.95 seconds on the straight this season. The 9.95 makes him the 11th fastest in the world this year. American Trayvon Bromell leads with 9.77, ahead of South African Akani Simbini in 9.84. I felt like we had a good crop of male athletes for the last couple of Olympics, so for me, it really bothers me to know that this is where we are right now, where most of the world is ahead of us. I'm just disappointed because I think we do have the talent. It's just to harvest it and people to take the training seriously and get it done, said Bolt. Otto Bolden, who won 4 Olympic medals for Trinidad and Tobago, went in the same direction as Usain Bolt. More chances are there for Jamaican women in the 100 and 200 meters. Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce selected as flag bearer for Jamaica's opening Olympic ceremony. Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce, the fastest woman in track and field this year, is designated flag bearer for Team Jamaica for the upcoming opening ceremony at the Olympic Games. She'll be joined by boxer Ricardo Brown. This will be the Pocket Rocket's second consecutive time carrying the flag for Jamaica at the Olympic Games. Fraser-Pryce is a favorite to win the gold in the 100 meters. She's aiming for the historic feat of winning the gold at 3 separate Olympic Games. Fraser-Pryce will also be competing in the 200 meters and the sprint relay. From World Athletics, Sha'Carri Richardson at It's Scary stars in new at Beats by Dre spot featuring Kanye West's new track No Child Left Behind from his album Donda, which dropped on Friday. Weird and unfair, Usain Bolt criticizes advances in spike technology. Usain Bolt said that advances in spike technology that could help wipe out his world records are laughable and that the new shoe also gives an unfair advantage over any athletes not wearing them. After athletes ripped through the records books in distance running with carbon-plated thick-soled shoes, the technology has now moved into sprint spikes, where although there is less time in a race for the advantage to make an impact, it's still enough to make a difference. When I was told about it, I couldn't believe that this is what we have gone to. You know what I mean? That we really are adjusting the spikes to a level where it's now giving athletes an advantage to run even faster, Bolt told Reuters in an interview from Kingston. The 100 and 200 meter world record holder and 8-time Olympic champion competed in Puma spikes throughout his career. It's weird and unfair for a lot of athletes because I know that in the past they, the shoe companies, actually tried and the governing body said no, you can't change the spikes. So to know that now they are actually doing it, it's laughable. American Trayvon Bromell is a favorite to win the 100-meter title in Tokyo. He's the fastest in the world over the distance this year with 9.77 seconds. But the 2015 World 100-meter bronze medalist is less convinced about the impact of the shoes. I don't think there's a lot of data to show that they're having such a big improvement, Bromell, who runs for New Balance, said last week. I know we, New Balance, are constantly building onto what we have to make the perfect spike. But for me personally, as a runner, I still feel like it's not enough data to really show. AIU set for big Tokyo 2020 testing. The Athletics Integrity Unit, or the AIU, revealed details of its testing program in the lead-up to the Tokyo 2020 Olympic Games. The AIU's testing program is highly targeted and intelligence-led and is aimed at the elite registered testing pool that consists of 782 athletes from 77 countries, including 315 athletes who are part of an extended road running pool. In the first 6 months of this year to the 15th of July, the AIU collected over 3,800 samples from tests conducted across the world. More than 2,700 of these samples were collected out of competition. The remaining 1,100 samples were collected through in-competition testing. Approximately 300 pre-competition tests are planned to be conducted at the Athletes Village prior to the start of the athletics events on the 29th of July, while 500 in-competition tests are planned to be conducted at the 2 venues in Tokyo and Sapporo, which will host the road events. Alex Wilson runs a stunning 9.84 seconds, 19.89 in Georgia. Sensational sprinting at the Georgia Games in Georgia, USA by Swiss sprinter Alex Wilson recorded stunning times in the 100 and 200 meters. He clocked 9.84 seconds with a plus 1.9 meters per second wind in the 100 meters, which is better than the current European record. In the 200 meters, his time was 19.89 seconds, wind legal at 1.8 meters per second square, what would be a new Swiss record. The conditions were ideal per reports in Swiss media, with 30 degrees and favorable wind. On Monday, Wilson flew back to Switzerland and then later to Tokyo. He is scheduled to run both the 100 meters and 200 meters. It remains to see whether European athletics will ratify the mark.
And that was the week's top stories in track and field. Join us again next week from the 3L Podcast Studios. Trackalerts Recall, from start to finish. I am Sean Garrity.